Look, if you're trying to build a company or even just a career in tech today, I've got some news for you. The playbook you thought you knew, it's completely obsolete. The entire map for how innovation happens has been totally redrawn. This right here, this says everything. That old idea that you had to be on Sand Hill Road in California to build something huge, it's a relic, it's a fossil. Today's world, it demands a completely different way of thinking. So here's how we're going to break this whole thing down. First, we'll get into what the Polycentric Founder model actually is. Then we're going to look at how you can architect your startup across these new global hubs. We'll also explore a really cool idea, building wealth beyond the whole venture capital game. And finally, super important, we'll cover how to navigate the hidden risks that come with this new landscape. All right, let's dive into the big idea here. And I want to be clear, this isn't just some passing trend. This is a fundamental strategic shift in how world-class companies are being built right now. So, what on earth is a polycentric founder? Well, it's someone who stops thinking about where their company is located and starts thinking like a global architect. You're not just building a product anymore. You are literally designing a global machine, sourcing the absolute best talent, capital, and even friendly regulations from anywhere on the planet. And this slide just lays it out so perfectly. On the left, that's the old way. The unipolar model, everything revolving around one single place, like Silicon Valley, where being physically close was everything. But on the right, that's the new game, the polycentric web. It's distributed. And the key isn't proximity anymore, it's leverage. How can you leverage different places for what they do best? This is the new rule of thumb, and it just makes the concept so crystal clear. It's all about strategically placing different parts of your business in the perfect spot for each specific task. This is global arbitrage, but taken to the absolute highest level. Okay, so that's the theory, right? Now let's get practical. Where are these new engines of growth actually firing up? Let's take a quick global tour. First stop, India. And you gotta understand, India has evolved so far beyond just being the world's back office. No way. Today, it's a powerhouse of what they call digital public infrastructure. Think government-built tech for things like identity and payments. And it's created an environment for scaling up that is just unmatched anywhere else. And the government isn't just talking. They are putting serious money where their mouth is. We're talking about $26 billion in what are called production-linked incentive schemes. This isn't just some small subsidy. This is a massive, coordinated push to turn the country into a manufacturing juggernaut for electronics and semiconductors. So here's why this matters to you. IndiaStack. This set of public tech tools like Aadhaar for digital ID and UPI for instant payments, it lets you bring a massive number of users on board with almost zero friction. This makes it an absolute goldmine for startups in fintech, in agriculture tech, and especially for AI that's focused on local languages. All right, next, let's head over to Dubai. In this new global order, Dubai has been incredibly aggressive in positioning itself as the Switzerland of tech, a neutral, super fast-moving, and unbelievably pro-founder territory. Now, what's really fascinating here are the details. Dubai offers the world's clearest, most straightforward regulatory framework for Web3 companies, companies building on the blockchain. They combine that legal clarity with real, practical incentives, like handing out 10-year golden visas to founders. This makes it, without a doubt, the best place to be for Web3 projects, luxury tech, or even just to set up a zero-tax global holding company. Our final stop on this tour is Vietnam, which has kind of quietly become one of the most critical hubs on the planet for engineering and manufacturing. It's the silent champion of scaling efficiently. And the cost efficiency, just look at this chart, it's staggering. You can build a world-class engineering team in Vietnam for about 1/3 of what it would cost you in the United States. That is a massive game-changing advantage. So why Vietnam? Well, it's become the #1 destination for companies looking to diversify their supply chains away from China. Plus, it has an incredible 70% STEM graduation rate, which creates this incredibly deep pool of talent. All of this makes it the ideal spot for hardware prototyping, Internet of Things devices, and really high-level software development. Okay, now you might be thinking, this is great for billion-dollar unicorns, but what about me? Well, here's the cool part. This whole polycentric mindset isn't just for VCs. It is a powerful wealth-building tool for individuals, too. Here's a really clear path. A talented developer or marketer living in a lower-cost country can use AI to just massively crank up their output. They can sell those super high-value services to companies in the US, earning US dollars, all while their living expenses stay low. But the real key is then reinvesting that huge surplus into assets that make money for you. And that brings us to the next point. And where do you reinvest? You reinvest in becoming a digital landlord. Instead of building from scratch, you acquire existing digital assets that are already making money. We're talking about things like newsletters with subscription revenue, AI sites that generate leads, or small software-as-a-service businesses. You can find these on marketplaces like Flippa, which lets you build a whole portfolio of cash-flowing assets across borders, all without hiring a single employee. But of course, with massive opportunity comes risk. This global model isn't without its challenges, and you have to be really aware of the hidden taxes that can trip you up if you're not careful. So let's break down these 3 big ones. First, platform risk. If your entire business is built on someone else's platform, you're what's called a digital sharecropper. The solution? Own your audience directly. Build that email list. Second, AI devaluation. A lot of mid-level skills are being automated. You can't just sell tasks anymore. You have to start selling strategic outcomes. And finally, compliance friction. Having a complex global structure can attract some unwanted attention from tax authorities. The solution isn't to avoid it, but to proactively navigate these rules with expert help so you stay compliant and avoid any painful audits. And that really brings us to the core takeaway of this entire thing. Your geography is no longer your destiny. Your real, true advantage in this new era is your agility. It's your ability to operate smoothly across all these different ecosystems. The old walls have crumbled. The map is wide open, and the tools are available to literally everyone. So the only question left is, what are you going to build with them?